Good afternoon, everybody. It's Mary Ellen from Create With Me, and I'm here in the Creativity Nest. And I've moved where I normally am because I wanted to stand up and show you all about the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine today. So I don't know how familiar you are with it, but that's our die cutting machine and our embossing machine. There are some um, do's and don'ts, and I just want to cover them with you because there's some things that maybe you'll learn today about this. So I'm going to take you down to my desk and show you the machine. So here's the Stampin' Cut machine. This is the big machine. It is called Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and there's the number for that. And then this is our mini. And chime in, let me know that you're here. This is our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and both machines are fabulous and serve similar yet different purposes, okay? So what I want to do is I want to kind of go over the very, very basics of these machines, okay? They are designed to cut a single sheet of paper or cardstock at a time. So sometimes you can cut multiples. It's not always recommended and it could break your machine, but ideally one sheet at a time is perfect. Okay, they are designed to be used with these plates here, the ones that come with them. Hi everybody, thanks for chiming in. They're designed to be used with these plates that come with the machine. So although I'll talk a little bit about using other machines, parts and pieces, with this machine, use these plates, okay? That's the way it's designed. You'll have the best luck with it. Do not use the plates for this mini in this big machine, okay? It's not made to be used in there. It's just made to be used for this mini machine. And let's see. All I'm doing is going over the basics right now. If your sandwich, and we'll talk about what a sandwich is, if your sandwich has trouble going through the embossing machine, just stop for just a minute. Make sure that you're using the correct sandwich and you're using the correct plates and you're using them in the correct order. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. So I said we talk about other machines. So I get asked all the time, can I use my Cuttlebug? Can I use my Sizzix dies? Can I use whatever I have? Yes, these machines are made to be used with the other dies. I'm not going to say universal because there are some differences, but what you'll need to do is you'll need to do some tests, and sometimes you'll need to use a shim. What's a shim? Okay, let me show you. A shim can be as simple as just using a piece of cardstock, and I'll show you where to put that if you need to use a shim when you're using the big shop. Or see, there I go again. I'm a creature of habit. I've used that machine for so long, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, that I'm going to show you how to use a shim with it. All right, so let's look at the steps, and we're going to work with the big Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And what you're going to do when you get the machine is you have to attach the handle. It's super simple. The instructions are there. And then this one is made for portability. So you see it has a handle. It's all closed up. I can take this wherever I need it. If I need to move it to a different table or if I need to go to a crop, this one's great for that. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull down both sides of the platform until the platform's completely open and flat on your work surface. This machine, sometimes it makes a popping noise. You'll hear it pop when you open it. That's completely normal. You just want it to be flat, okay? Then you're going to insert your sandwich from either side of the platform. So what that means, what does a sandwich mean? So let's go over the plates that come with the machine. You'll first get a number 1 plate. That is your base plate, okay? The base plate, you're going to always use the base plate. Yes, what happened to it? I'll explain that later. Then if you're going to be using dies, and everything is on here. So I would take a minute and look at what my different sandwiches are. And sandwich, you'll hear that a lot. Sandwich is in the instructions. Sandwich is what I say when I'm using a class. That is the little different pieces that how you're gonna build your platform or your sandwich, okay? If you're die cutting, you're going to use the number 2 plate, which is the die cutting base. Then you can put on your number 3 plates, which are your clear cutting plates. You're going to put one on. You're going to put your cardstock down. You're going to put your dies on it. Let's say we're going to use a die like this. And then you're going to put your other cutting plate. I've made a sandwich. Now I'm ready to go ahead and cut that, okay? Let's see. I want to make sure that I'm giving you all the instructions. So we're just talking about die cutting right now. We'll talk about embossing in a minute. So now I can go ahead and die cut that. And I'm going to go ahead and switch that out because I want to show you something a little different. I'm going to still use this piece of Granny Apple Green, but I'm going to bring in from the Encircled in Beauty dies, I'm going to bring in something that's maybe a little more intricate. Okay, so cutting plate down. I will say that sometimes if you have trouble, you can try to flip it so your cutting surface is up. Sometimes that will make a difference. But usually you don't have too much trouble. So cutting plate down, cutting side down, I'm making a sandwich, and now I'm just going to run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And sometimes you'll hear some cracking. That's completely normal. Okay. Now, when you've got an intricate die like that, sometimes I'm going to try to get this to go right back on. You can take this, and I'm going to first do a little apology, okay? Because I, in the last second, could not locate I'm frozen, but I think you can still hear me. And hopefully it'll come back, okay? So I could not locate. You can get, I'm going to show you on this page right here by my thumb. You can get a take your pick tool die brush tip, and it comes with 2 foam mats. And what that's used for is getting the little pieces out of an intricate die. I have one, but I could not locate it in the last second. So I've got one that I used previous to getting the new one. And what you're going to do is you're going to run your brush with your project on your foam mat, and that's going to pick out a lot of these pieces. You can also go over it. See how it's just pulling those pieces out? You can go over it after you have taken the die off, and that will also help remove some of the pieces, especially when you're using intricate dies. So see how pretty that is? And then, of course, there's pieces that can go over that and cut that out. So you could go ahead and cut that die out. Let me move that out of the way, and let's talk about embossing folders for just a second. I want to put that right on the ground. So we have to do a different sandwich for that, okay? So we're going to remove die cutting. This is die cutting. We don't need that anymore because we're going to be doing embossing with a folder. So we're going to use plate 1. And depending on what our folder is, so let's turn on the catalog to our folders, and they are on, I should have had that tag, just the next page, 154 and 155. You'll see different colors. So you'll see the light gray and you see the charcoal gray. The charcoal gray are just a regular folder, and the light gray is what we call a 3D folder. So they have different sandwiches. And so it's easy to use that as a reference. Just keep your catalog handy, and you can see, or you can even mark it on your folders if you like. But it's easy to just see, okay, that's a 3D folder. I need to make my 3D sandwich. So what's a 3D sandwich? So let's pull out this folder. I'm going to pull out the dandelion folder, and I'm going to give you a couple tips on that. So this is kind of a bonus. So the Stampin' Up side is the side that's going to be the emboss side, not the deboss side, but the emboss side. The other side will be the deboss side. So that holds true on most of all the folders. So we would place our paper in there. This is we'll look in here. This is a 3D. So here it is right in my catalog. This is a 3D folder. I'm going to place it with my clear plate on the bottom. I'm going to place it with, wait, let me make sure that's right. I just, all of a sudden, I thought that was wrong. We're going to place it right on our platform 1. And then we're going to use this gray, and this gray is the 3D embossing plate. So it's a little thicker. It's thicker than my clear plates. I want to go hinge side in, and then I'm going to run it through. And then let's see how pretty this turned out. So here is the dandelions embossed on a little Bermuda Bay. Did I lose everyone? I don't see any comments. Maybe I've just missed them. But while we're talking about folders, a lot of times, if we're not thinking sandwich, we got to think sandwich. We might run this through. We might think, oh, we'll put that there and we'll run it through. I'm going to show you what happens when you do that. So this is going to be the result of your folder when you run that, save sandwich, when you run that through without putting it underneath the gray plate. This is what's going to happen. So you're going to end up with something like that. You don't want that. It can happen on the 6x6 too. If you don't put it in a sandwich, you're going to ruin your folder. So make sure you're using a sandwich when you're doing your folders. So do you have any questions? Please let me know, but I'm going to move over to the mini. Okay, so I'm going to set that one aside. And I'm going to talk briefly about the mini. The concept is exactly the same. Open your arms, but you get a little bit different. Everything I've shown you comes with the big one. And then with the mini, you're going to get your number 1. That's your base plate. You've got your 2 cutting plates. You get 2 number 2s. You also get a 3 and a 4. So a 3 is used for your regular folder, and a 4 is used for your 3D folder. So it says right on here, using with a 3D embossing folder, using with a standard embossing folder. So again, there are folders. Let me just show you a sampling of them. So here's the folders that will work in your mini. This is just a few. There's a lot. This is just a few that would work in your mini. And again, the dark ones, these are the little ones here. They are all regular folders. And then we've got one 3D folder. I do not own that folder, or I would show you with the 3D plate, but I do own the regular one. So let's just run one through, and we're going to put our regular plate on. How we're going to make the sandwich is we're going to use the number 1. We're going to use our folder. We're going to run it through. Let's see what I've got here. I've got some polished pink, and I've got one of the texture folders. And I'm going to put that right on top here. And then I'm going to use my standard embossing folder, number 3, make my sandwich. I want to make sure my folder is inside. If I was having trouble doing that, then you definitely want to stop, okay? Don't keep going, stop. And then you'll get this beautiful texture. I love this texture. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, so Kelly says that her folder did that. She accidentally ran it through without putting it in a sandwich, and she heated it up with the heat gun and then put it on her book. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take it and I'll take my cutting out and I'll put it in here and I'll let it sit overnight, just sandwiched in my machine just like that, and I'll just let it sit, and that will help a lot. So thank you for that tip, Kelly. I appreciate it. Do you have any other questions about the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines? I'm going to put up that right there, but on that same note, I will tell you that on Thursday, June 24th, we have a one-day special. It's not on these machines, so if your heart started racing, just listen to me for just a minute. But that means that what that is, I'm gonna go back to my face here. For one day, we're going to have a free shipping special. So if you do not own a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, or you are in the process of wanting to transition to this machine, or maybe get the mini, on Thursday I will have a new host code out, and I will we will have free shipping that day on Thursday, June 24th from midnight to midnight. I will be sending out an email. So if you are not on my email list and you want to make sure that you're informed of the specials, please message me, send me a message, or get on my website and sign up for my newsletter. And then I'll make sure that you get the information. I have a newsletter getting ready to go out shortly. So I know this is a really long Teach Me Tuesday, but there's a lot of information to share. So if you need something right now, you could use that. But if you want to wait until Thursday, we have free shipping. That's Thursday, June 24th. So if you're watching this later and it's after June 24th, I'm sorry. This was a one-day quick sale, and it's over. So hopefully you have a wish list and you can save a little bit on your shipping. So if there are no other questions except about my knuckle, so you want to hear about my knuckle, it's really nothing great. I'm going to just tell you. So I have something I'm trying to get rid of on there, and that's all I'm going to say. I've been working on it for a long time. It bugs me, and I'm just medicating it and trying to remove it. So nothing as great as getting in a bar fight. I wish it was, but no, I really don't. I really don't. But you guys have a great day. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully you've learned something. I also wanted to say that if you enjoyed Teach Me Tuesday and you want to go back and see what the 30 plus episodes that I've done, they are all up on YouTube at Create With Me, up on my YouTube channel, and they're all in a playlist. So if you go to my videos and then go to my playlist, I have a Teach Me Tuesday playlist, and I have a coffee class where I make cards playlist. So you can you can scroll through there and see things that might be of interest to you. So I just wanted to put that little tip out there. When you're up on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.